Drink some water. Just sit here looking like a mug. Play around with the filters. Hi, Judith. Hi. Thank you for joining. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but can you please let me know if you can hear me? Hi, Miss Hamina. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll get some more people to join and then we can start. I'm very, very nervous and excited. Fantastic. Thank you for letting me know. I was a bit worried. I'm just like sitting here talking to myself, which is very, very strange. Thanks everyone who has joined so far. We're just going to wait a few more minutes, see if people will start. But please, I hope you have your questions ready. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. No holds barred. I'll try to be as open and forward as I possibly can. So please feel free to ask any questions at all. Thank you, One. I thought I would, dress for the occasion. My outfit is by Ampofua Ghana. So please check them out on Instagram. They're Ghanaian-based feminist fashion brand. They make amazing outfits. I'm sort of like the brand ambassador. So yeah, I'll get up in a while so that I show you the full dress. Thank you. I put a whole bottle of conditioner in my hair today. I started washing my hair like 9 in the morning and I finished probably around 2. Thank you very much, goddesses. Only don't come and snatch my edges. Look, I laid my edges the African way. No baby hair, no gel to hold it down. I just combed it back and put a scarf on it. After the 200-hour wash. Yes, a whole bottle of the herbal essences Hello Hydration. Because my hair is so thick, I had to section it into 6 pieces and put a whole bottle of conditioner in it for 45 minutes before I detangled it. But now it's nice and soft and look, it's really, really coily. Even though it's shrunk to even though it shrunk so much. Hi Tracy. Thank you everyone who has joined so far. Thank you. So Feminine Style Africa is a digital magazine that is really dedicated to telling the stories of African women by African women. So our aim is to contextualize our work as much as possible so that it's capturing the different parts of the continent, because a lot of the time people tend to loop Africa together, and Africa is not a country. And even though some of our issues are similar, at the core of those issues are like our cultural or traditional beliefs that are usually not the same. So we don't want to create a magazine that is telling the story of African women with one voice. We want a magazine that is truly reflective of African women's experiences. So we have writers from different parts of the continent that are bringing their unique perspectives to the table. We are still recruiting for writers, so if you're here and you'd like to join us as a writer, please do so. We have writers from like Botswana, Kenya, South Africa, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Nigeria. I'm sure I've missed a couple, but yeah. We have writers from, we're trying to get writers from each African country. That would be amazing. If we got writers from every single country on the continent, then we'll have a truly, truly African magazine for African women. So that is what we are. And so please, like, if you're interested, if you know someone that is interested, send us an email. It's info@feminstyle.africa. On there, please like type it in so that people will see. Thank you very much. So yeah, please, we're always on the lookout for writers, and we're more than happy to have more people join in. So that is what Feminstyle Africa is. If you have any questions at all, this is the time to ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and look pretty, which is also fine. You can watch me just sit here. Maybe I'll eat some food and drink some water. We had a couple of questions that people sent on Facebook and Instagram. So probably start with some of those so that we can sort of get the ball rolling. So I have a question from Golda. She actually sent 4 questions in, so I will read the first 2 and answer them. So the first one is, why did you start Feminstyle Africa? And where do you see Feminstyle Africa in the next 10 years? So I started Feminstyle Africa, again, like I said, to amplify the voices of African women. But I really I've been very, very keen on creating a space where African women are basically like making their own table, because it's very, very annoying when you listen to the news or any TV program or radio program and it's just saturated with male voices. So I've always been of the opinion that, look, media shapes public perception. So if people are constantly seeing the faces of men in these programs discussing issues of national interest, then they're always going to think that women's voices are not important. As a kid growing up in Ghana, I used to watch a political program called Talking Points on Sunday evening with my family, and it was just full of it was always a panel of men. I don't think I ever remember seeing women on Talking Points, but Talking Points was a political program, and Ghana's population is like split in the middle between genders, right? So even as a child, I didn't understand why there were no women on that panel. And as I grew up, and it just became more and more apparent that it's like an erasure of women's voices and experiences. So I said I want to create a space where we are taking that and making it our own. If they don't want to invite us at the table, we'll bring our own house. basically. So that is the reason why I created Fem in South Africa, to ensure that women's voices and experiences are being given equal weight. Where do I see Fem in South Africa in the next 10 years? Well, that is a good question. We are very ambitious in the things that we want to do. I don't know where we will be in the next 10 years, but I can tell you that in the next year or two, we hope to be in a position where we are not just digitally based, but we are printing the magazine as well and distributing it in as many countries on the continent as possible. We understand that on our continent, data is really a matter of class, and it's very expensive, and a large population of the people that we want to reach do not even have access to the internet. So to find a way to bridge that gap, we want to move to print so that we can distribute the magazine to as many people as possible to really get the impact that we want to make. We also want to partner with some organizations on the continent to help really like bring issues like domestic violence, period poverty, etc. to light, and find a way to help these organizations also make impact. We want to educate people as much as possible. So we're not targeting just feminist women, we're targeting both feminist and non-feminist women, and even men, right? Because we as much as our activism would never ever center men, we also understand that men need to understand what we're trying to say, so that they can also go into the spaces that they occupy and make those spaces less misogynistic. So in the next few years, we hope to move to print. We hope to partner with other organizations on the continent, and we hope to set up some real interventions on the ground that will make impact. So I'll leave go this other question for now, and just give you guys that are watching me here a chance to ask any questions that you have. How do you balance life, work, and smashing the patriarchy? It's a miracle, Oni. It's a very, very interesting question. I don't know how I do it most of the time, but I think that it's, for me, I live and breathe gender activism, so I don't see it as something that is other. It's a part of who I am. So I don't know how I can really sort of like answer that question in a way that separates work, activism, and this. But I'm also in uni as well, so there isn't enough hours in the day really. But what I really just always have it at the back of my mind, that what we're doing here is the most important thing that we'll probably ever do for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children. It's a foundation that we need to lay, so that when people think about equality, when people think about gender, when people think about inclusion and representation of women, they don't hesitate to understand that it's imperative that women are given equal opportunities everywhere on the continent. So having that at the back of my mind makes it easier to, get out of bed in the morning on the days that I just want to go back to sleep and then lie in my bed, or just drink wine and not speak to anyone and not do any work. I hope that answers your question, One. I'm just going up to see if there are more questions at the top. Okay. Can I ask the inspiration behind the magazine? That is from Chimitai. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. I will try as much as possible to get it right. So Chimitai is asking the inspiration behind the magazine. The inspiration behind the magazine really is very simple. We want equal representation for women across the board on the continent, not just in politics, but also in the corporate world, in TV, on radio, on panels that discuss any issues. I mean, I don't think that it's right that we have a panel that discusses issues of national interest like politics and economics, and it's always full of men. And then when we have International Women's Day, we'll have a few panels of women here and there to come and talk about certain things. And even in that sense, there's always a particular type of woman that is invited to come and speak. And these are usually people that are very much, invested in maintaining the status quo. So, I mean, Margaret Thatcher was one of the most powerful women in the world, but she was also a gatekeeper of patriarchy. So she was there with the key to literally close the door behind her and lock it so no other woman can join. So if you have women like that coming on panels to talk about issues that affect women, they're not really going to talk about it from the point of view of people that do this gender activism as part of their life, as part of their work, and they know what impact needs to be made. So the inspiration really was to making sure was just we need equal representation across board. Women belong at the table. There's no question about it. Women belong at the table, and we are coming with our seats. We're coming with our own table. In fact, we're coming with our own building. If they don't want to give us that space, we would take it by force. Like, we're not here to play. We would take it. Do you think activism is getting more powerful, or it's just being highlighted more because of social media? That is very interesting, Goddess. I think both answers. I think it's both. Yes, activism is getting more powerful. I think it's because people are becoming more woke. People, younger generation especially, are realizing that we don't want to live the way our parents did, So and we see the toxicity of many situations that we grew up in, so we don't want to follow those footsteps. But I also think that we should not state the important role social media has played in making activism more visible. Like there's certain things that you would have had to keep saying, literally like carrying a megaphone like a preacher in the middle of the market square saying before people wouldn't even listen to you. But now with social media, it's just like all these voices can come together and they can come at you at the same time. So that magnifies it more. And so it makes it more visible, but I don't think that it necessarily makes it more powerful. It makes it maybe easier for the message to come across, for the message to reach people. But I feel like activism has always been powerful. I mean, the suffragettes didn't have social media, but they were able to get the votes. The second wave feminism didn't have social media, but they had even more of a political influence, especially in America. The second wave feminists had more political influence than any feminist wave has ever had. I mean, it's not been matched since the 70s, since like the Gloria Steinems and what have yous of the world. So I feel like it's always been powerful. It's just social media is giving it more of an amplification. I hope that answers your question. Do you have volunteers? How do I become one? I Miss Sarah. Yes, we do have volunteers, and you can send an email to us at info@feminstyle.africa, and we will get back to you. If you're able to attach a CV, that would be even better, so that we can have a look and see where best we can utilize your skills. We are a very small organization, and we're only 3 months old, so we need help. We need all the help that we can get. This is something amazing, and there's so much room for people to grow and really become a part of the journey. So get to emailing, and we'll get back to you. Okay, this is from Ampofua, Ghana. I do appreciate that feminist issues are circular and links, but which feminist issue means the most to you? Hey, God. Oh, God, I don't know. All of them? If I have to pick, which feminist issues mean the most to me, I would probably say that representation of women in political office, because for me, I feel that political power is one of the most straightforward ways to make impact, to make the change that you need. I'm very interested in policy change, so we need to have women in places where these decisions are being made so that they can have a say. But we need to have the right type of women who understand the importance of getting that gender equality agenda put in there, right? So I am very, very much vested in women getting into politics on the local level, on the national level, and on the international level. I feel that for every one political party seat that a man contests, you would find 5 women that are more qualified than that man, right? But the thing is, the way we have been socialized, and a lot of us, if not all of us, have had to unlearn so many of the things that we've believed about ourselves as women, because of the socialization and because of the way our localities and our context are so deeply patriarchal. It's very difficult for women to come out and put themselves out there the way that men tend to do, because women are vilified. Women are vilified as soon as a woman is contesting for any political party. Her marriage, her relationship status, whether she can cook or not, all of these things are sort of like thrown at her, and you don't get that for men. So I think that we need to really re-socialize, unlearn a lot of the things, and relearn that getting women involved in politics, getting women a seat at the table where policy is being made, is one of the surest ways to get to the place that we want to be, which is having parity. Do you think we will ever achieve equality, all factors considered? Yes, I do. I believe that with every part of my being that we will achieve equality, because you know what, people like me and you exist, right? And we will keep fighting. Even if we don't achieve equality in our lifetime, it will be achieved, because we're not going to back down. We're here, and we deserve to be here. We're taking up the space, we're taking the seats at the table. I mean, the wave is already like spreading across the world. We have more women in leadership positions across the world than any other time in the history of the world. So yes, I do truly believe that we will achieve gender equality at some point. It's a fight, it's an uphill battle, but we'll get there. We're not giving up. I'm really sorry about that, Chimiti. I will keep practicing that in my head. Hopefully I will get it right. But thank you very much for your questions. Yes, I absolutely agree with you at Ampofo Ghana. It's about sustainability and focus when you're advocating on an issue. Mukanda is saying, very well put. Social media creates awareness, but it doesn't change the situation on the ground completely. Thank you. Oh, I am glad that so many people have joined. I was a bit worried about that, but keep telling your friends to come and join. We've got another maybe like 20 minutes or so. Iki Tiana says this organization will go very far. Great initiative. Thank you so much. Thank you for that vote of confidence. We believe that it will go very far too. We believe that we are onto something great, and women, it's our time. I mean, it's always been our time, but now we're not taking any chances. So thank you very much. Okay. So I'm before saying at Mukanda, the people on the ground are also the people online. If you change minds online, attitudes and situations can change on the ground. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. And we have seen that, especially in the Ghanaian context, on Ghana Facebook, people's mindsets in the last 3 or 4 years have really shifted, because a group of women came in and they were like, we're just going to flip every existing narrative on its head so that you see how ridiculous it is. And this started a conversation that has resonated both online and offline. So I absolutely agree that the two go hand in hand. We cannot really put more importance on one than we do on the other. And social media gets quick results as well. So it's not something that we can underestimate. And One is saying, yeah, and also equality may look differently. Imagine 50 years ago and now. Absolutely. Like 50 years ago, the things that people were fighting for is completely different from the things that people are fighting for now. And even 100 years from now, it started from women getting the vote to, women getting into politics, to abortion rights and all of that. So yeah, definitely. It's an ongoing process, and there's always something that is coming up. Every generation has got their own agenda of what is important to them. Taking up space, fist bump, yeah. Okay, so I'm just reading more. Okay, so I think I've gone through all the questions. If I've missed your question, please draw my attention to it. Thank you. I'm going to read back to read another question from someone from Facebook, which says, what is your view on mentoring? Can other women, or do you plan on including something of that sort in Feminine South Africa? Yes, we plan to include a mentoring program on Feminine South Africa, and it won't be just the people that work at Feminine South Africa mentoring younger women, or even, there's no age limit to the mentoring program, but we want to again partner with other organizations that would mentor women and younger girls. One organization that I really love is the Boardroom Africa, which is a company that basically works to put more African women on boards across the continent. And so if you're a woman that is interested in getting into the corporate world, and from a young age, if you need mentorship and stuff, these are the sort of things that we're thinking about implementing at some stage in the journey. I'm before saying, how would you advise feminists to organize in order to achieve gender parity in the political space? That is very interesting. That's very interesting, and this is something that I have struggled with as well, especially because of the just recently done Ghana elections. They exposed some sort of breaks or cracks in the gender activism space within Ghanaian feminists. I think that the best advice that I would give to feminists, especially when it comes to organizing for political gain, is to really keep your eye on the ball. Look, partisan politics is worldwide. It's everywhere, right? There are feminists in every political party, even those ones that you don't think they are feminists in, they are feminists. So it's important that you put aside your differences, like your entitlement to other people's loyalty, and look at it as a bipartisan effort to get more women involved. So organize around that. Look, it's you can even be deliberate about it, right? Making sure that the women in different political parties are being the central focus of your campaigns, or you're trying to get your own women in there instead of infighting because someone, you know, is a Democrat and someone is a Republican or whatever. That is the most easiest example that came to mind. I think it's very, very important that we keep our eye on the goal, that it doesn't matter which political party you belong to, the goal is to get more women involved. So organize around that. That is why I really like what the Vote for Women organization in Ghana are doing. I'm sure that the people in the organization don't all belong to one political party, but they organize to amplify the women that were already on the ballot paper, right? So you give visibility where it's important. I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Let me keep waving at people. Are there any more questions that people would like to ask? No? You don't want to know my hair regimen, my makeup, where my lipstick is from, or my dress, which is from Ampofo, Ghana, who are here asking difficult questions. Go away, Oni. I don't want to talk about my hair. I was just joking. It's good genes, you know. It's Asasiya just took one look at me and she was like, "My child, take the hair." She was like, "You would take this hair, my hair, like, cause it's in a ponytail, it looks like it's a lot. My hair is quite long actually. It's probably like down to here, but when I wash it, it shrinks to like that." So yeah, Asasiya was like, "Take all this hair, but going forward, you have to remember that you have to put a whole bottle of conditioner in your hair every time you wash your hair." So yeah, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, you know. It's a very expensive hair to maintain. Let me show you on a look. Can you see? I mean, we don't have to talk about my hair, but there are other things that we can talk about. Just send in your questions and I'm very happy to answer them. Oh, thank you very much. You're so full of vibrance and knowledge. Thank you. Definitely looking forward to more lives and even more. Thank you. We'll try as much as possible to go live. Next week is going to be Honest 10. So please look out for her. She's the Chief Operating Officer of Femme in South Africa. She's amazing. And she didn't know it was her turn next week until now. So now you guys know, so she'll be held accountable. Yeah, so One will be here next week and I'll come back the week after. Any books that talk on or cover feminism that you'd recommend? Oh, there are lots of books that I recommend. There's a book that I'm reading right now. Let me get to it 1 second. So this book is called Hood Feminism. I think that for every feminist, this book I mean, no one has paid me to do this free ad, but I think that it should be required reading for feminists because it's intersectional, right? It basically like minces no words when it comes to the danger of approaching feminism with white feminist ideologies, and it's a great book for every feminist to read, because it opens your eyes to so many things that you don't really think about, you take for granted. Like one of the things that really struck me about this book was when she was talking about the war on poverty in America, right, which is designed as the war on obesity. But then when you think about the fact that if you go and buy a can of Coke, which is cheap, the government is trying to tax people who buy a can of Coke more. They're trying to get people that buy Coke to pay more for the can of Coke that they will buy, because there's too much sugar in a can of Coke. But when you go to Starbucks and you buy a cup of hot chocolate, it's got twice as much sugar as a can of Coke. But poor people cannot go to Starbucks to buy hot chocolate. So really and truly, are you taxing poor people, or is it really a war on obesity? So this book breaks down some of these core themes, and it's very much focused on Black feminism, right, and intersectionality. And I think that every feminist can benefit from being more intersectional, because issues transcend, issues overlap, especially if you're a woman. Intersectionality was really created by a Black woman for Black women, because she saw that in America, well, that is where she's from, because that is where her context was from, that in America Black women were sometimes like suing companies for discriminatory practices, but the companies will come back and say that, well, we are not discriminating against you as Black women, we are discriminating against women, right? So if you want to state a case, then state your case as being discriminated against as a woman, but not as a Black woman. But Black women were sort of faced with the double burden of being Black and being a woman. So intersectionality is very, very important for us feminists, as Black feminists, to understand and really emulate, and it's the best way to approach our activism, in my opinion. That is just my opinion. Another book I like as well, it's called Misogynation, and it's written by Laura Bates, and it's really a collection of essays that she's written about everyday misogyny. And I think she has a Twitter account called Everyday Misogyny as well, where women tell stories of like misogyny that they face or they experience just walking down the road. So it's also a very, very important piece of work. All the books by Chimamanda, of course. I like Audre Lorde's book, A Room of Her. So The Master's Tools Will Not Dismantle the Master's House, and a few other books whose titles I don't remember. But definitely read Hood Feminism. This is a great book. I'm on my third read now. It's fucking amazing. I'm not going to apologize for swearing. It's an amazing book, so please read it. I read a few books that are on politics, but from women's perspectives as well. I'm studying for a degree in politics and international relations, and one of my favorite textbooks is called Bananas, Beaches and Bases, a feminist approach to international relations. And that is also a very, very, very important piece of work. It's also quite intersectional, even though it was written by a white woman. So it sort of looks at issues that affect women across the world from a feminist perspective. And there's so much to learn from that book. It's a textbook, so it's not easy reading, but it's a great book. It's a textbook that looks like a normal storybook. So that's also a great book if you're especially if you're interested in politics and international relations. It's a great book to read as a feminist. Let me see if there are any questions. Yeah, yeah, definitely get it for your birthday. You will love it. Or you can wait. When I see you, I'll give you. Actually, no. Get it for your birthday. Go on Amazon and buy it. Okay, so this is from Ikitiana. It's like, what is your advice to mothers and grandmothers who are fixated on the ideology of women not being taken seriously and not teaching their daughters to defy the odds? Well, my advice to mothers and grandmothers like that is that the world needs women to be loud. The world needs girls to find their voices, and so they should let girls be girls. They should let girls live to their full potential, right? Just because you're a female doesn't mean that you should be relegated to the kitchen, or that your education is not as important as the boy, or that you should be groomed for a man to come and marry you and things like that. So girls belong in the world. Girls that are given a voice at a young age grow up to become amazing women that know what they want in life, in their personal life, in their career, everything. They know the choices that are in front of them. They have all the information, and so they tend to make better choices. If a girl's voice is stifled at home and she grows up in timidity, then she becomes like this person that has to pretend to be someone they're not in order to fit in. So let girls live to their full potential. There's no such thing as girls should be ladylike and blah blah blah, whilst boys can fuck off and play football and gang rape girls when their families will cover it up and stuff like that. No, girls should be held to the same standard that we hold boys. So boys should be held to the same standard that we hold girls. Let me put it that way, because boys have been allowed to run about for too long without any repercussions at all. So boys should be held to the same standards that we hold girls, and girls should be allowed to just be themselves. Thank you very much. If you know my mom, don't go and tell her that. Thank you. Shimeta is saying, I love an intersectional approach. I just hope I can afford it at the bookstore soon. Thank you for your recommendation. Let's hope that maybe you might be able to find a PDF copy online. I'm not sure. But if you do, that would be great. If not, just send me a message. Let me see if I can help you get a copy down to you. It's not a problem at all. Just have a look online and see what happens. Thank you all for the love emojis. Like, I'm blushing here, even though I'm dark skinned, so you can't see it, but I feel hot, so that means that I'm blushing. So thank you. I Am Brilliant says definitely going to look for it. Sounds like a great read. It's a fantastic read, honestly. I have a lot of books, but this is like one of my favorite books. So yeah, definitely look for it. Marianne is saying I'm so going to get it, that book. So yeah, thank you. That also, whilst you guys are getting this book, email the author, what's her name, Mickey Kendall, and tell her I've been selling her book, so she needs to pay me some royalties. She needs to pay us some royalties so Femme in South Africa can, employ more writers. So please tell her that as well. Thank you very much. Women should be seen and heard. 100%. I agree with you, Marianne. Fantastic. More love eye emojis. Please send me more as well. Look, the best compliment is money. Kojo, I can see you there. You have my mobile money number, so send me some mobile money. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sienna. I'm very, very proud of my bookshelf. I bullied my flatmate into putting it up for me. It took us like 3 hours of me just standing there and giving instructions and drinking wine whilst he did all the work. So also, I'm so hard copy. I'll check it out. I struggle reading soft copy books. Or I'm like you as well. So I've really struggled with uni in the last term, because like reading things on your computer when you've literally spent 8 hours working on your computer, and then you've been to lectures, and then you have to read your text. It's been difficult not being able to go to the library to get hard copy books. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. But you know, the world is changing, so we have to move with the times. Unfortunately, one of my friends has been trying to sell me the idea of audiobooks for like a year now, and I'm like resisting it. I'm like, no, it just feels wrong to listen to someone read a book to me when I can just sit there and open the book myself and read it and get that full experience. But I think it's probably one of those things where you're going to find that people start releasing their books online as opposed to selling hard copies, especially if COVID keeps going the way that it's going, you know. So we have to move with the times. I talk too much, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Does anyone have any other question for me? Okay, I see that there are 3 questions here, I think. Okay, I think I've answered those. No. This is what 90s hip hop is for, Marianne. I completely disagree with you on that. No, 90s hip hop or 80s pop, right, on YouTube with the stereo blasting is the best way to do housework. No, I think that if I was listening to an audiobook and doing housework, I don't know. It's like when I used to go to the gym and there would be women on the treadmill reading a book whilst they were running. I'm like, is your eye not paining you? I don't know. I don't think I can. I think I prefer hard copy books. I think the audiobook thing would probably be like a last resort. If there's a dystopian, if we all turn into zombies and the only way you can turn back to human is if you listen to audiobooks, then yeah. How do you pick your battles with smashing the patriarchy? Activism can be exhausting. How do you cope? This is a very interesting question, Oni. And this is a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Because you realize that you can't be everywhere. You can't respond to everyone. You can't do everything. So for me, one of the main ways that I cope is really like I reduce my level of engagement a lot. If I know someone to be like deeply entrenched in their patriarchal, misogynistic views, I would not engage them, because what you find a lot of the time, people are just there to see lion. They're not there with any new information. They're not there to learn. They're just there to tell you how they think you should behave or how they think you should go about your activity. So I check out at that point. That is one of the things that I do to cope. I also tend to ignore a lot when people tag me on posts that they think that I should go and respond to. Like, no one is your activism house girl, right? So if you see a post that you don't agree with, if you're tagging me, then you do not agree with that post. You know that you don't agree with that post. So if you're tagging me, then you can say something, asking me to come and perform for you. And yeah, so I stopped doing that as well. I stopped doing that as well because I find that it gets a bit too much, and then you always feel you're always being pushed and pulled in different directions, and you need to take care of yourself. I I have gone through activism fatigue. It took me like over a year to recover from it. I went through a period where on Facebook I was literally just posting pictures of myself and making funny posts, no activism at all, because I was just like, I was tired, and it's because you feel like you're being pulled in all these directions. There's always an argument to be had somewhere. There's always a misogynistic man that is not willing to learn, to try and educate, and yeah, so I kind of like went, no. So for me, I if the topic is very important to me, if the particular issue being discussed is important to me, then I go all in. I mean, that doesn't mean that not every activism issue is important to me. It's just a matter of sifting through what I want to give my energy to and what I don't want to give my energy to. When are you going to respond to the application for the new job post? So the applications have been up for a week. They are going to run possibly for another week, and then we're going to take them down and start responding. There's a deadline before we start responding, but we are going to respond to everyone that has applied. If you're successful or unsuccessful, we will let you know in due course. Please bear with us. We got a lot more applications than we anticipated, so we have to sift through all of that, so it's going to take a while. Sorry about that. Wondering Aruba is saying, and before Ghana twins coming through, love it. Yes, please, thank you. As a brand, I take my brand ambassador job very, very, very seriously. I think before Ghana should start giving me 50% discounts on their outfits now. You know, I support feminist businesses, but I also like discounts. Thank you very much. Do you ever have activism fatigue? Yes, we just actually discussed that just before you joined. I'm wondering, Areba. Yeah, I do get activism fatigue, and I was just saying that I have devised new ways of coping so that I don't feel that burnout again. But you know, especially when people tag you in things, in posts that they want you to come and perform under these posts, I'm like, no, I'm tired. I am Tando. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I am Ntando Yemendali. I hope to get the job. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you too. We have received so many applications, and we're going through all of them, and we will respond to you in due course. Thank you very much. I'm here for 7 more minutes, so if you have any more questions, this is the time. If not, you have to hold it and wait for One next week. Now that she's been made aware on Instagram Live that she's doing the next Instagram Live. No one has any more questions. Let me just read through to see if I caught everything. Yeah, I think I answered every question. So thank you, everyone. So my handle is that girl Hetty. All one word, lowercase. I'll send it to you. So it's that girl Hetty. What advice would you give for your younger self, activism wise? Oh no, do you plan on being a model? I am already a model, African print model. That is my hashtag, African print model. So thank you very much, Wondering Areba. See as I fine. See fine girl. Of course I'm a model. I just need model money. The money, just like the money needs to reflect my modeling way now I've been doing for free, like, you know, stepping on necks left, right and center, just serving sauce everywhere without pay. Say we've stopped that. People need to start paying me for being cute. Thank you. So to answer on this question, what advice would you give to your younger self, activism wise? Don't be a pick me. Just don't be a pick me. There is no reward in suffering. No man is going to marry you just because she went to scrub his toilet and cook for his whole family. Just don't be a pick me. I think it's very, very important that you shed likability and respectability at a very young age. Otherwise, you're always going to wonder, worry about what people think of you, and you're never going to be able to live as your true self because of that. So shed likability, shed respectability, like literally kill shame. Shame should not be anywhere near you. Like, shame should see you and feel ashamed for looking at you. And don't be a pick me. That is what I would tell my younger self. That is all. Fine girl with no pimple, because life is simple. You know what? Thank you very much. You've given me a new caption for my picture I was about to post on Instagram after this live. So thank you so much. I'll credit you for that. Thank you. Okay, everyone that joined us today, thank you so much for coming on board, for indulging me and asking the questions that you did. Please don't forget to follow us. Please don't forget to read our articles. Our writers have done amazing work, right? The articles that we have on our website it contains some really important information for African women from different parts of the continent. So please read our work, share it with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with your feminist and non-feminist friends, share it with your uncles that are always talking about when you get married so they come and chop bride price and eat jollof. Share it with all of them. Because it's very important work. And keep following us. We will do this live every Sunday at the same time unless something changes. So come back next week. We have an interview with me coming up soon, so we'll share it as well, and then you guys can have a listen. And just to remind you, One will be here next week. She's fun. She will bring the fire and the red lipstick, and she'll come and answer all your questions also. So please join us next week. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for your data. And before you go, what does feminism mean to you? For me, like, feminism is literally the textbook definition of what it is. Equality of sexes. Men and women are equal, economically, politically, and socially, right? The only difference between men and women is biological. Where biology ends, that is where difference should end. So my feminism is very straightforward. Men and women deserve equal opportunities. It doesn't mean that I expect a man to not pay for my dinner when we go out, or that he splits the bill 50-50, especially when he earns more money than me. No. Like, financial equality, economic equality is not financial equality. It doesn't mean that wealth is still concentrated in the hands of men, right? So, I mean, and also I like money. I like spending people's money, let me say it that way. So, yeah, but like, putting all jokes aside, feminism is a very simple, straightforward ideology that men and women are equal politically, socially, and economically. And that's where it ends. May the fourth, may the fourth be with you, sort of thing. Thank you so much, everybody. You have been amazing. We'll do this again soon. Follow me on my personal Instagram, which is that girl Hetty, and also continue following Femme in South Africa. We're also on TikTok, so make sure you follow us there if you have a TikTok account, and watch our fun videos. Okay, may the force be with you. May Beyonce be with you. May Chimamanda be with you. May Asasiya be with you. May Oya be with you. May all the African female gods be with you. Speak soon. Bye-bye.